and realizing the thoughts that you have are energy. And you've heard me so many times to say that thoughts are energetic. And we know that thoughts are electrical because they have an electroencephalogram, which measures the electrical current in your brain waves. And we know that if you have a broken leg and you add a mild electrical shock to it, very, very mild, the bones will knit together more quickly and the cells will respond to it. So here you are, a spiritual being, having a human experience. And now the time has come for you to realize that, as I've spoken before, that you are energy. But the important thing is, how do we direct our energy? And in this case, I'm going to use the word energy and thoughts as being synonymous. Thoughts are energy, energy are thoughts. And the chaos that's going on in this world right now is creating more chaos. It's like a breeding ground for fear and doubt, and it's beginning to have a multiplier effect. And this multiplier effect has an effect upon us, because you see, we're an antenna. We send out information, we receive information. Now we're reaching a precipice in our life. And this precipice is, do we want to accept the energy of fear and doubt or insecurities or death or whatever it may be? Or do we want to accept the energy of love and joy? And one of the things that really upsets me, people say my life is so short. We got to get all these things done. Well, I really don't know what life is, when short means. You live to 80 years, 120 years, 130 years, 5 years? I don't know. I don't understand that. First of all, you never want to say your life is too short or life is too short, because now you're manifesting it. Unintentionally, but you are. Your life on this time, on this planet, will seem like eons, even though it may be a certain number of years. And the accomplishments you can make are phenomenal. And I want you to think about everything you've done in your life. And I want you to spend a moment to think about, not the challenges. Remember, I don't like the word negative. The challenges, because you overcome the challenges one way or another. But think about the good things you've done, how you have touched other people, how you have brought love and joy, how you have made others happy. Sometimes you don't even know how you did it. And sometimes I'm walking by and I see somebody with a sour face, and I walk by and I smile at them, and they look at me and they smile back. No words are spoken. But it was my energy of joy or love that I sent them with a simple smile. And yet for that moment, or maybe a little longer, I've changed their energy and vibrations. And you can do the same thing. You can change it. And if we view in life, everything is but an experience to empower us. So unfortunately, if you've been beaten or abused, really the bottom line is you came to learn about self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem, and I honor you for choosing such a very difficult path. But those who understand it come out the other end feeling whole and complete. Or perhaps you were poor, or perhaps whatever went on. But what it did was empower you. And we are always comparing the past with the present. And in some instances, that's good. And in some instances, it's blocking. So if you had a fear of swimming and everyone went swimming, you would stop yourself from swimming because you had a fear. On the other hand, if you like chocolate ice cream, and Michael said, let's have chocolate ice cream, you go, yeah, let's do it. Think about this. And that is, it's important for us to concentrate on everything in our life that brought us joy. I remember my first scooter. I remember my first bike. I remember my first electric train. I remember all those things. Or when I hit my first home run playing, Little League ball. I remember all those things. So when you begin to concentrate on the little things, maybe the first time you had chewing gum, or someone gave you a hug as a child or complimented you, remember those things, because that's energy. What is that energy? It's the energy of love, joy, and happiness. Because we're on this planet to have love and joy and happiness. It was originally the Garden of Eden, place of R&R, of love and joy and happiness, and it got mucked up by ETs, and that's another story. But in your life, you can create whatever brings you joy. You don't have to say a word. They'll pick up the energy, remember? You're an antenna. And I remember for a short period of time after my wife died, and I stayed at Jim and Myers. They wanted me to stay there because I didn't know what I wanted to do, whether I wanted to stay here, buy a house. Stay with us. So I stayed with them for 2.5 or 3 months. And I left. And Maya went, Michael, what the hell did you do when you left? Everything fell apart. When you were here, everything was smooth. Thank you for your energy. Oh, no, thank you. I didn't even know that. But I had a profound effect on the family and their sons. Because all I did was spread love and teach love. That's it. But I made a change in their life. And you can make a change first in your life, because it has to start with you. And it has to start with inside you. And it has to start with loving yourself. Don't look in the mirror and say, I got a few more wrinkles, I got gray hair, my tummy's too big, or my teeth are crooked, or whatever. Look in the mirror and say, you know what I always say, you are unlimited. Michael, you are unlimited. Or Michael, I say every night you should look in the mirror and say, I love you, Michael. Or I love you, Kimber, whatever your name is. Because the last thought you have, remember, you review in your mind, in your sleep, 60 to 120 times. And they did a test in the 1950s, and some of you heard this, where they put electroencephalogram, and they hypnotized prisoners and put a thought in and watched the brainwave. And then they went to sleep. And that same thought, that brainwave, on the charts, duplicated itself between 60 and 120 times. Pretty amazing. That's why, your mother or father often said, you know what? Never go to sleep with your spouse angry. A lot of wisdom in that. And my mother, who I adore, very intuitive and didn't know that, but she gave me some important advice. And when I got married, she said, Michael, your parents are the most important in your life. But now they're getting married, your wife comes first. And I thought, wow, what an amazing woman. And she was right. Not that my mother and father took number 10 on the list. My wife was number 1, my family's 1.5. These are the words of wisdom we think about. And when you think about love and joy and happiness in your life, and you remember those things, you're creating an energy and vibration that begins to expand within you and begins to heal with you. Because all illness starts with stress, which causes the body to be dis-ease, which causes dis-ease, which causes an illness. And we need to understand that. And we need to understand that our thoughts make ourselves vulnerable to whatever it may be. So when I have a client that I can't, I used to say, okay, but I don't do that anymore. I hold their feet to the fire. When they go, I can't, I said, you won't. And after they get angry at me, they say, yeah, you're right. Each one of us needs to do the work to spread the love. Each one of us has to start within our own inner core, with loving yourself. Stop looking at your imperfections. Stop trying to be perfect. The definition of perfection never means growing more perfect, so you never reach it. You're just getting more perfect. And that's what your life is. So the greatest thing you can do at this time in your life is love yourself. Don't pay attention to what is going on in the news. Say, I don't have time for the illness. I'm too busy. I love my body so much that I'm not going to subject it to it and keep repeating it. And when you do, because your body has an intelligence, your cells have an intelligence. I'm sure you know that, but whether you have an infection, what happens? Cells in your body fights it off, doesn't it? Or if you cut your finger, what happens? Cells come to your body, the blood coagulates, has a scab, and eventually more cells come forth, and it knits your skin together, and you don't even know if you had a cut. See how intelligent your body is? And guess who's in charge? You are.